Fala galera, bem-vindos a mais um vídeo do canal, eu sou o Zach e hoje nós vamos continuar com a nossa série Tangle Tower, já está no quarto vídeo, já conhecemos todos os nossos suspeitos, então agora já estamos chegando numa parte mais interessante, né, que agora eu vou conseguir conversar mais com vocês durante a gameplay. Se você estiver gostando desse conteúdo, deixa aquele like, se inscreve no canal e me segue nas redes sociais também. Deixa aquele comentário para eu saber também quem está assistindo, o que vocês estão achando, a sua opinião é sempre muito importante. E também, você não fica sendo só um número, você vai participar do canal e essa é a ideia. Então é isso, galera, sem mais enrolação, roda a vinheta e bora pro vídeo. Bom, aqui foi onde a gente parou, né? Então, temos coisas suspeitas, tanto com a Rocksha quanto com a Pop. Então, vamos resolver isso com ela. Vamos começar com a Pop.
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
Ih, nossa.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like
Muito.
your
Falei isso
music,
no
to be
primeiro
honest.
vídeo.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
Exato.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
Isso aí, você costumava gostar
You
dessas
used to
coisas.
like these colors.
É você naquela foto, para
We
de
need a
mentir
clue
pra
to
mim.
compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors.
Essa foto aqui.
Let's take a closer look at this.
Bom, vamos lá. A fita cassete rosa. Encontrada na cena do crime combina com isso aqui, o toca-fitas rosa.
The pink cassette
Isso.
tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
That is not me.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it.
Para de mentir pra mim. Cadê outro pedaço da foto? Aqui. Combina direitinho, tá vendo?
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up? And then hide it?
I think the
É
answer is
verdade, por
pretty
quê?
straightforward.
Não, a foto não prova que a Pop é assassina.
Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it.
É,
Makes
eu
this
acho que ela
whole
tá
thing
negando
seem
o
kind
clichê
of
da menina
irrelevant.
emo.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
the reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore.
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you,
See?
Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
Sim, provavelmente.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
Vamos continuar falando com ela então, né? Falar sobre fates.
Softly does the flower grow, all in time, and time is slow. Rest a seed within the earth, but do not rush its gentle birth. Hour by hour, day by day, tune your heart to nature's way.
Tá, né? Fala sobre Felix.
Foregone drifter, holding fast, days as shadow seeker past. Is it bravery or surrender, accepting that your world will render nothing darker than the gloom some four walls make round a room?
Sobre a Penny.
feathers flashing in the light, from a sunbeam gleaming bright. I shield my eyes and turn my head, but all at once I've been misled. Light is shining on the stage, but through the railings of a cage.
Sobre a Fifi.
Between the lips a silver spoon, a story written all too soon. The chosen dwelling of her heart, unjustly chosen to depart. Lost her liberation lays, in the center of a maze.
Tá, né? Ah, faltou a Rocha.
With surging tide, the waves are thrown, an entity of all its own. But on its surface you may see, reflected in the waters be, the orchestrator, pale and still, pulling strings, enacting will.
Enfim, foram todos os poemas, né? Sobre a foto.
I think everybody sees something different.
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a recurring nightmare.
Sorry, but if it was from a nightmare,
Yeah.
why would you paint it and leave
Na
it in
verdade,
front
pode
of your
querer
bed?
enfrentar, né?
Maybe she wanted to take
Isso aí.
control of it. Giving something a physical form can make it easier to deal with. Well, sometimes. Don't you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to anyone or signed by anyone?
Someone's being deliberately secretive.
Exatamente,
Or
gente.
they're trying to manipulate you. Yeah, it's mine.
What's so special about it?
I got it from my teacher. It's the first piece I ever learned.
How long have you been playing?
Since the day I turned 6. Family tradition. I was really excited to start learning. As soon as I got out of my first lesson, I told Freya and Fifi all about it. When I arrived at my second lesson the next day, Freya was there too. She hadn't asked permission, just showed up. For 2 whole years, the teacher taught us both.
Was Freya any good?
She would have been even better than me, if she'd stuck with it. But one day, she just stopped coming to lessons.
Why?
That's just it. There was no reason.
Estranho.
That's when I realized things were different for her.
Toca
Can
a
you
música
play
pra
the tune
gente.
for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
Tá, né? Vamos continuar aqui.
Did you find that in Fifi's room?
No. Should we have?
No, it's just... It looks like something she'd use, don't you think?
É, isso tá muito estranho.
This is a photo of Fifi and Freya, right?
Yeah.
How come you're not in it? You're friends with them too, aren't you?
Acho que era pra ter
I'm not really
perguntado
one for
isso
photographs.
antes.
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable. Is that a gardening trowel?
Yeah. I think it belongs to Fitz.
Really? Huh. Never seen him use it. Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No. We found it in Penny's room.
Ah, right.
Nossa, acho que as duas não gostam uma da outra.
Was that Fifi's diary? I'm sure I've seen it in her room before.
That's where we found it.
Have you ever read it? Do you know what's written in there?
Nope. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate me invading her privacy.
I thought you and Fifi were close friends.
Yeah, we are. It's just Fifi's gotten kinda impatient with me recently.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure.
Elas precisam
Sure,
conversar,
she'd
gente.
tell you if you asked.
Oh, she would. She'd give it to me straight. Probably why I've been avoiding it. I think it's kinda cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Eu também.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little protective. Those petals,
What about them?
it's nothing. They're just unusual.
Ela sabe de alguma coisa.
Whose paints are those?
They belong to Felix, I think.
that supposed to be Flora?
Possibly?
Oh, how nice. Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess.
Hmm.
But kind of unsettling with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that.
Enfim, já completamos tudo com a Pop. Vamos falar com a Roxel. Vamos ver o que ela tem a dizer sobre o microscópio, que na verdade é um telescópio.
This little microscope thing? You said you used it to search the greenhouse.
And this would make perfect sense if you knew what my client had asked me to
Você que
find.
tá procurando o
Of
besouro.
course, I still have no intention of disclosing that information.
You're such a tease, Hawk.
Claro que é o besouro. Tá achando que eu sou idiota?
You're not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
So, that's what you were looking for in the greenhouse? This beetle?
Surely even you can understand the logic of it. The greenhouse is home to a great many insects. The gardener could have easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but didn't actually search the greenhouse.
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact she didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse.
Porque não é um microscópio.
It's not a microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on microscopes.
Então, vamos lá. Vou pegar isso aqui. Microscópio de bolso. De acordo com a Fifi, usa uma... Não. Uma lente telescópio. Não. Isso.
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses... lied about it. I'm inclined to believe Fifi when it comes to stuff like this.
Eu acho que ela não mentiria, não.
Why did you lie about owning a telescope?
When you were a child, what did you aspire to become?
A detective? Naturally.
Emperor of the Galaxy?
I wanted to be an astronomer.
Really?
I harbored a desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the world around me. And so, I became a detective. But the yearning for elusive knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Sorry, but we're way off track. What's
Yeah.
the deal with the little
Tá tentando
telescope?
me enrolar.
A memento of my childhood. Little more than a toy.
Why did you bring it with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me, I dared to consider it something of a planetary alignment. I had hoped he might sign my telescope. An extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to
Então
such a
por que que
degree.
você mentiu?
Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So, who is your suspect?
Things have become complicated. My lead suspect is your murder victim.
Isso deixa ele muito mais suspeito. Vamos continuar falando com ela.
Did you get anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious. I'll say this. He's well suited to physical labor.
That's a nice way to put it.
Fitz spends most of his time alone in the greenhouse. But I heard he's been breeding experimental flowers. In secret.
Whoa, scandal.
I just wonder if he's getting restless. Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely.
Fala sobre a
I
Penny.
find her rather embarrassing. Little more than a spoiled child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just makes it worse.
Enfim, vamos mostrar os objetos.
The people here are surprisingly materialistic, considering how sheltered they are.
Materialistic?
Growing this fruit simply because it produces a gemstone-like material. For what possible purpose, other than financial gain?
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stone straight from the earth?
Seria muito bom. Eu ia poder comprar equipamento pro meu canal, gente. Tem noção?
A diary. Have you read it?
Not yet. It's locked.
And you haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating.
É que não tem como fazer isso, não
I'd tell
faria.
him not to quit his day job. But he hasn't got one, has he? These figurines remind me of a case I once solved involving a possessed doll. Turned out to be a bit of a smokescreen.
Fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
Não é?
These people really are ridiculous, aren't they?
Pouco, vai.
3 birds, 1 cage. What makes them worth keeping cooped up, I wonder? Would they not be happier flying free?
But then they might fly away from Tangle Tower entirely.
I wonder if they would. And you consider that important evidence, do you?
Tudo pode
I
ser.
admit, it's powerful. Freya was a talented young woman.
Someone even liked it enough to take a photo of it.
Now, we don't know why they took the photograph, do we? Perhaps they just wanted it for reference. A photograph of Freya could be important. This is a potential murder weapon, is it not?
Pode ser.
I don't know. I don't think the murderer would leave the murder weapon just lying around.
I think you'd be surprised as to what people leave lying around.
Bom, enfim, já falamos tudo com ela. Então agora vamos interrogar a Fifi sobre o diário. Durante a edição eu vi que eu não tinha
It's an illustrated book about
olhado
birds.
isso.
It's been left open. Looks like somebody was halfway through reading it.
Or it was left open for us to find.
Ever so slightly unnerving.
Enfim. Vamos ver aqui. O borra-tinta é um pássaro bastante inteligente com um longo tempo de vida, mesmo para místidos aviários. Outros pássaros costumam ser agressivos com ele, e o borra-tinta vive a maior parte do tempo sozinho. Possui hábitos alimentares bem particulares, normalmente comendo apenas sementes de tantum amico. Não sei se eu falei certo não, enfim. Vamos falar com a Fifi aqui de uma vez. Então...
I believe Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Esse é o
Any
diário
idea
por
what it
último.
was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is a blood-red mountain with angry storm clouds brewing above it. As such, I cannot ascertain any meaning from it whatsoever.
Do you know who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother has not been in the
Ela sai da
library for some
torre.
time.
Será que ela sai da torre?
This photograph is my favorite photograph.
So, why'd you rip it in half?
That was not me. Besides, it was not a half that was ripped off. It was only a third. A book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
Não vai falar não? Ah, né?
There's something about that diary we found
Ah.
in Fifi's room. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Vamos. Já estamos aqui.
Is this your diary, Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like that?
Do you seriously require an explanation? Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in
Tá tentando me
particular by
enganar,
girls
palhaço.
between the ages of 10.
So, there are secrets written in here?
This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
O diário de outra
It's
pessoa.
somebody else's diary.
É
How could
só
you
olhar a
arrive at that
foto.
conclusion? It is kept in my bedroom. It is mine.
We need a clue to compare with the diary.
A foto.
Something to prove
Ela tá
who
achando
the
que me
original
engana, cara.
owner was.
Cadê a foto? Aqui.
Let's take a closer look at this.
Vamos lá. Esse caderno azul aqui. É similar. Diário secreto. O que prova que pertence a Freya.
This blue book is somewhat similar to the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya. Almost.
Ué?
Maybe just change one thing.
É a mesma coisa?
This blue
Ah,
book
foi.
is the same thing as the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room, and you kept it locked, too.
Why would I do either of these things?
Eita. Olha lá, Fifi. Não queria que ninguém visse. Segredos particulares. Dentro do diário da Freya.
Fifi didn't want anyone to see personal secrets within Freya's diary.
Is this true, Fifi?
I know Freya was your friend, but if you're trying to hide something,
You did not know Freya, so this might be difficult to understand. She did her own thing, in her own way. By concealing
Explique-se.
Freya's written accounts, it is simply my intention to preserve her innocence.
Inocência.
Innocence?
might be easier if you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
Very well. I will open it. However, as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind and the most wise person I have ever known.
Que estranho.
Alright, Fifi unlocked the diary.
Finally. What's in there?
Está de volta, em carne e osso agora. Será que fui eu? Será que eu deixei escapar? Talvez eu deva jogar fora aquele quadro. Garralma funciona, coisinha impressionante. Tenho 2 agora, preciso de mais 2. Encontrei meu caminho até o meio, bastante simples comparado à harpa. Eu vi todos os 5 com olhos rabiscados de preto. Apesar de tudo, ainda tenho uma promessa a cumprir. Farei o meu melhor. Ela precisa de companhia. Gente, que estranho. Isso só fica mais estranho. Enfim, vamos aqui. Aqui tem uma...
Gloomy.
But roomy. A big glass door leads out into a garden.
There's a little mechanism.
Tá vendo? Lembra daquele negócio que a gente viu no quarto do Fitz, que as luzes elas ficavam desse jeito assim? E o outro tem o símbolo do sol.
Nothing.
What?
Still locked.
All 4 tiles have a moon symbol.
Those other symbols look like suns.
I think it is, but in an abstract kind of way.
Bom,
I guess we'll come back later.
eu acho que tem que botar agora o sol na posição que tava ali. No lado de cá. Por que eles estão tão...
It's locked, but it leads outside.
I thought we were halfway up a tower.
We are.
What's that thing by the handle?
Agora o sol fica... Não, na verdade acho que assim, não lembro.
It made a noise.
I guess that was right. And the door's still locked.
I still feel like we made some sort of progress.
Será que eu botei a luz
We already
errada?
saw.
Yeah, but the door didn't unlock.
Ah. Ué, gente, eu botei lá... Eu botei assim. Vamos resolver isso.
A big glass door leads out into a garden.
There's a little...
Fica assim, não?
Nothing. Still,
All 4 tiles have...
those other symbols.
I think it is.
É, ao
Something
contrário.
happened.
Dei mole.
That must be it. Finally, it's open.
Whatever's on the other side better be worth it.
Vamos finalmente ver o que tem aqui.
Careful, we're pretty high up.
Yeah, we're on a roof. Giant stone frog. Love it.
Ah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snowflakes.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
Penas? As penas foram encontradas quase todas sobre a língua do sapão de pedra.
It's a rose bush, growing on a little patch of bluish soil. Apart from a couple of loose petals on one side, the whole thing looks very well cared for.
The roses are bright red, too.
Now, aren't roses normally that color?
Aquelas rosas, aquelas pétalas de rosa que a gente achou no quarto da Penny.
It's another little statue, doing a really bad job of hiding in the bushes.
He's playing a lute this time.
He's also wearing...
Well, they're not part of the statue. And they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
Uma estátua levemente envelhecida de uma estranha criatura segurando um alaúde. Um par de abafadores de ouvido foi posto na cabeça da estátua. Nossa, que insetão.
It's so relaxing. I might just stay here.
Oh, shall I go finish the investigation on my own?
That'd be great. That's one big dragonfly.
Or one very small dragon.
Tá, né? Acabou que isso aqui não trouxe nada do que a gente precisava.
Leads up towards Flora's Tower.
Bom, eu tô perdido agora. Vamos falar com o professor. Fala sobre Rox.
Hard to read, that one, but she seems to know what she's doing.
She's kind of mean.
You know, I simply assumed all detectives were sharp, rigorous, and thorough. Then, of course, I met you. He should learn to make the most of his lot in life. And he does have a lot in life.
You're talking about money?
Among other things, but yes, he currently has agency over a small fortune. That is, if he hasn't already squandered it or lost it.
You two don't get on?
Oh no, we're the best of friends.
Não parece.
What do you want me to say? He's the gardener.
He's a member of the family.
Yeah, but not the Pointer family.
Ele
What
tem
happened to
problema
his
com a tua
parents, do
família.
you know?
His father, Flint, is Felix's brother. Strange man. Don't think anybody knows what happened to him, but he certainly doesn't live here anymore.
About his mother.
I've not met her. She never actually married into the Fellow family. Her relationship with Flint was, it was short-lived.
Tá, né? Fala sobre a Penny.
Ah, Penelope, our resident ornithologist.
Penny's your niece, is that right?
At this moment in time,
No momento.
until she marries the gardener.
She'll still be your niece.
But she'll depart from the world of the Pointers and join the Fellows. Like rats deserting a sinking ship. My Poppy, my pride and joy. Exceptionally talented pianist from a young age. She... Hold on. Why is she on your list of suspects?
Ah, porque ela
Because
pode ter...
she's a suspect.
Isso,
Oh,
obrigado.
no. I can personally vouch for her innocence. She'd never... Well, the truth is, she loved Freya very dearly.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened to Poppy's mother?
Primrose, by birth. The playing field has never really been even since she left.
Where did she go?
Away.
Pra
She
onde?
went away.
Fala sobre a Fifi.
Ah, yes, the heiress of Tangle Tower. Goodness knows what'll happen when she takes charge. I dare say she'll confiscate my telescope and replace it with a microscope.
She doesn't seem to be the type to impress her will on others.
Still, keep an eye on her. Dangerously intelligent, that one.
Que inveja.
You sound jealous. Wait, are you two science rivals?
Oh no, we operate on very different wavelengths. Literally.
Tá bom, né?
Freya was well acquainted with the abstract, I'll say that much.
What does it look like to you?
To me, it's a big, red thing.
Ah, muito obrigado. Me
fascinating
ajudou
interpretation.
muito.
He's right, though. It is a big red thing.
É. Mas não me ajudou em nada.
Where on earth did you find that?
It was in a bush outside.
Yeah.
I think someone threw it away.
How peculiar. What a precious photograph. She hasn't changed a bit, has she?
Who?
Oh, either.
Eu já sei que é a Pop, para.
Oh, my. This is the first piece that Primrose ever learnt on the piano. Primrose, that is Poppy's mother. She passed it down to Poppy when she started teaching her how to play.
Poppy's piano teacher was her mother?
Of course. Warms my heart to know that after everything,
Deixa a história mais
Poppy
estranha.
still has it up on her wall. Oh, you found a murder weapon?
Steady on. It's just a gardening trowel.
Looks like a weapon to me. Fitz seems rather keen to grow things like this in his greenhouse, doesn't he?
What's wrong with that?
Well, you can't eat it. Makes you wonder why he bothers at all. What's this?
It looks like it might be a telescope. Thought you might know something about it.
Well, it certainly is a telescope. It has a part there to screw onto a tripod, you see. It's rather small, though. I'm not sure you could see many stars with it.
No, probably not.
Deve estar vendo outra coisa.
Well now, that is most definitely none of my business. Quite possibly none of yours either.
Ih, nossa, grosso.
That's rather a small cage for 3 birds, isn't it? But then, aren't we all trapped in a cage? Poppy's 2 closest friends. Freya looks so innocent there.
Inocente? Como assim todo mundo fala de inocência dela?
A diary can be a wonderful outlet for an outpouring of one's soul.
How do you know it's a diary?
I suppose I don't, but it does look like a
É
diary.
diário.
That's a very old book, isn't it? Looks like someone could have taken better care of it.
I like the look of a well-read book, better than one that's never been opened.
Ah, well put. This looks a little rushed, even by Felix's standards.
At least he tried.
Yes, I suppose it's good for the old fellow to have a hobby. Keeps his mind from decaying, you know.
Nossa.
This is supposed to be Felix, is it?
I think so.
I see he's afforded himself considerable artistic license. I think you may wish to adjust your threshold of what you consider to be a clue.
Nossa, tá me ensinando a fazer o meu trabalho.
I've seen those earmuffs before. They're the ones Fitz always wears when he's out the front gardening.
Always wears?
Whenever I've seen him, yes.
Já sabemos onde a gente tem que ir agora,
What
né?
kind of flower is that?
We're not sure. I think it might be the only one of its kind.
Primrose would know. My wife was a floriculturalist. Best in the field. That's a flower joke, but she was.
Interesting.
Curious creature, isn't it? Some sort of amphibious bipedal fishman.
Playing a trumpet.
Playing a trumpet, yes.
Não, acabou que não veio nada útil daqui. O que ele tanto olha?
Every astronomy tower needs a telescope.
I want to try.
Ah. Eita, ele tá olhando pra fora.
You can see right into Flora's room.
Not by accident.
Claro que não.
I can see Flora, but she's not looking this way. She's looking up. Behind her is the backside of the easel holding Freya's unfinished painting. I can't really see anything behind it. Not from this.
Tem uma coisa aqui em cima.
Is that a window?
I think it is.
Is there another room above Flora's room?
Com certeza deve ter.
We should check that next time we're over there.
Bom,
Isn't this supposed to be an astronomy telescope?
verdade, ele não deveria estar olhando para as
I'm
estrelas?
pretty sure you need to see the sky for
I
astronomy.
can't move it. I think this is just how it's set up.
Não dá pra mudar. Ele tava lá
There's something
espionando.
about Pointer's astronomy habits. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
Vamos.
So, Professor, what interests you about astronomy exactly?
It's not a matter of being interested. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot be unexpanded.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
Por que você tá
I have a
olhando pra...
theory about you, Professor.
Oh? Go on.
Você não tem o menor interesse em astronomia.
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean by that?
I think you're interested in a slightly different
Yeah.
field of research.
Que é sobre besouro.
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Ah, vai tentar enganar outra
Right.
pessoa.
That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that.
Peraí. Telescópio do Pointer. Tava... Na verdade, olhando para a cena do crime e não para o céu.
Pointer's telescope was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what,
Eu
spying?
acabei de
Are
ver.
you spying?
Why would
Mentiroso.
I need to spy on Flora?
Não sei.
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
E por isso ele
Might
chamou
not have
Rock
been
Show.
Flora you were spying on.
Era
Might have been
Freya.
Freya.
It's a very precious specimen. Incredibly rare. Valuable in ways you could never understand. Freya was always sneaking around, both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder.
Claro que tava.
Did you witness the crime, Professor?
Se não foi ele que matou.
No, I didn't.
Como?
When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora? You mean Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This changes your statement, doesn't
Claro.
it?
No, everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
Freya was definitely up to something.
Sim.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
Maybe we should go back and check. And we could have missed something.
Talvez mais tarde. Então, nós vamos falar com o Fitz primeiro. Depois nós vamos no jardim. Vem cá. A gente precisa conversar.
Those petals, they,
What?
they're red.
Ah. Cadê o abafador?
Wait, those are mine, the earmuffs. They went missing about a week ago.
What do you need earmuffs for?
I use them for gardening sometimes.
Why? You don't own a chainsaw, do you?
No, I wear them while I'm gardening and it stops people from trying to talk to me.
That's genius.
Brilhante.
It's Fifi and Freya.
Don't you think Poppy should be in the photo too?
Maybe, maybe not. She doesn't really like crowds.
2 people isn't a crowd.
Right, but if she was in the photo, then it'd be 3.
Checkmate.
Freya's best work, in my opinion. Although, the photo doesn't carry the same energy as the real thing.
What do you think it's a painting of?
What do you mean?
What's the subject matter? What's that big red thing?
Oh, I don't think it's that kind of painting. A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to.
Ah.
This is yours, Fitz?
Yeah,
Do you use it?
I keep all my tools in the greenhouse.
That wasn't what she asked.
Looks like someone doesn't want you to read that book.
That's the main thing making me want to read it.
Deixa ele.
We found these up in the rooftop garden. Do you know how long they've been there?
No, could have been a long time. We don't ever really clear up the rooftop garden.
Why not?
Nature is unruly. In truth, it prefers to be left alone.
Olha.
Penelope knows about birds. You should ask her instead.
Depois do jardim, nós vamos falar com a
There's a
Penelope.
plant mentioned on this page, see? Do you have any? In the greenhouse?
No, I don't grow that anymore. In the past, it's incredibly difficult, even for me.
Nossa.
I could never get it to live more than a couple of weeks. Felix made that? Huh. Felix made that? Huh.
Nossa. Enfim, não deu muito certo. Acho que nós vamos ter que ir no jardim mesmo. Uma portaria. Vamos aqui. Que é isso?
This wasn't here before.
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy. Looks kind of like a crab.
There's a note stuck to the back.
What does it say? Grimoire?
O que tá escrito? Esse é meu novo amigo. Ele gosta de música. Melodias simples comoverão sua alma. Boa sorte aos dois. Freya. Que? Ela tá viva?
What do you think? Is it really from her?
How can it be?
Como?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's diary?
Good idea. Hold on.
Well,
It's a perfect match.
Caramba!
well, it's confirmed. We have a ghost helping us.
Não, fantasma não. Ela deve
Let's
estar
keep
viva.
this to ourselves for now.
What about the little wooden toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
Caramba! Gente, eu vou fechando o vídeo por aqui depois dessa, hein? Se você estiver gostando da história, do conteúdo, se inscreve no canal, deixa aquele like para dar uma ajuda. Me segue nas minhas redes sociais pra gente bater um papo, conversar. Elas estão aqui em cima. E é isso aí, galera. Até a próxima. Também assiste também o vídeo de Steven e as outras séries do canal, tá bom? Então é isso, galera. Até a próxima e tchau!